My precious one, on February 22nd, at exactly 3:00 a.m., heaven leaned closer to your room. While the world slept, while no one heard the quiet sob that escaped your chest, God noted the tears on your pillow. Not one tear fell without being recorded. Not one sigh dissolved into the darkness without being witnessed. This was not an ordinary night. This was a divine checkpoint. And here is what you were not told from the moment dawn broke that morning. Archangel Michael was assigned to guard your front door. Not symbolically, not poetically. Assigned, positioned, activated. A heavenly warrior standing between your home and a spiritual shift that is unfolding right now. You thought the heaviness was just stress. You thought the silence in your house was normal. But something is being unearthed in your bloodline at this very moment. A specific family secret, buried for years, hidden under layers of pride, fear, and silence, is rising to the surface. And this message had to reach you before 11:22 p.m. Because after that time, a divine silence begins. Listen carefully. February 22nd carries a double alignment. Due to. It is a number of witness. It is the number of confirmation. At 3:00 a.m., the hour when heaven often whispers and darkness feels thickest, your spirit cried out louder than your mouth ever could. You may not even remember the prayer you whispered, but heaven does. God marked that moment. Why? Because what is happening in your house is not random. You have sensed something shifting. Maybe you felt tension in conversations. Maybe a certain name keeps coming up. Maybe you feel like there is something you were never told. You are not imagining it. Here is truth moving beneath the surface. And Archangel Michael did not take his position lightly. He stands at your front door because access is being restricted. Certain entities cannot enter anymore. Certain lies cannot survive this exposure. When a family secret begins to surface, it creates turbulence. It shakes foundations. It tests relationships. And without protection, it can cause chaos. But you are being guarded. There is a reason you clicked this. There is a reason your heart feels like it is racing while listening. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. The secret being unearthed is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to free you. For years, something has affected the patterns in your family. Repeated struggle, similar heartbreaks, financial cycles that never break, emotional wounds passed down like inheritance. You wondered why certain battles felt older than you. Because they are. What was hidden is being brought into light. And when light touches what was buried, reactions happen. People may act defensive. Someone may suddenly change behavior. Conversations may feel tense. But do not panic. Archangel Michael's assignment means protection during revelation. You must understand the urgency of 11:22 p.m. That time is not about fear. It is about decision. 11 represents transition. 22 represents foundation. Before the clock seals the day, your awareness must shift. If you ignore this nudge, the silence becomes permanent, not because God stops speaking, but because hearts harden. Opportunities close. Windows of clarity pass. This is your window. Look at your front door today. Not with physical eyes alone, but with spiritual awareness. Peace has been stationed there. Protection has been decreed. No harm is permitted to cross the threshold without divine filtering. But here is the deeper layer. The family's secret being uncovered is connected to identity. Something about who you are, where you come from, what was concealed to protect you is about to surface. And when it does, you will understand why February 22nd at 3:00 a.m. felt so heavy. You were grieving something you could not name. Heaven named it for you. Right now, even as you hear this, pieces are aligning. Documents, conversations, memories, a sudden confession, a forgotten detail returning. The truth does not always explode loudly. Sometimes it rises like a quiet tide that cannot be stopped. Do not fear the exposure. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Archangel Michael's presence means this revelation is strategic. It will not destroy your home. It will cleanse it. It will not shatter your future. It will correct its direction. But you must remain spiritually alert. Tonight before 11:22 p.m., pause. Stand near your front door if you can. Whisper gratitude for protection you did not even know you had. Invite peace into every room. And prepare your heart to receive truth without bitterness. Because once truth arrives, you cannot unsee it. And once silence falls, it becomes harder to hear the whisper again. Something is moving in your family line. Something long buried is breathing again. And heaven has already taken its position at your door. Beloved soul, what you are about to understand now will shift the way you see your own home. Since dawn on February 22nd, the guarding of your front door has not been symbolic. It has been strategic. Archangel Michael was not assigned because of danger approaching randomly. He was assigned because something hidden inside your family line has begun to move. And whenever truth begins to rise, resistance also begins to stir. You may have noticed subtle changes. A strange mood in the house. A sudden distance from someone who used to speak freely. Or perhaps you felt an unexplainable urge to clean, rearrange, or open windows as if you were preparing for something unseen. That was not coincidence. Your spirit senses what your mind is only now beginning to understand. The tears on your pillow at 3:00 a.m. were not weakness. They were spiritual sensitivity. Heaven allowed you to feel the weight before the revelation so that when it arrives, you are not shattered by it. God marked that moment as the beginning of exposure, but exposure requires protection. That is why Archangel Michael stands guard. There is something about your family history that was intentionally buried, not necessarily out of evil intent, but out of fear. The fear of shame, fear of rejection, fear of losing reputation. And when fear builds walls, secrets get stored behind them. But walls do not last forever. What has been hidden is beginning to surface, because your destiny cannot move forward with inherited silence attached to it. You were chosen to break a pattern, and pattern breakers are often the first to feel the pressure. Pay attention to conversations in the coming hours. Someone may always say something and then stop. Someone may react emotionally to a simple question. There may be tension where there was once comfort. These are signs of movement beneath the surface. Do not confront with anger. Do not accuse. Remain steady. Archangel Michael's guarding presence means this process must unfold with wisdom. If rushed, it can cause division. If handled with patience, it can bring freedom. Before 11:22 p.m., you are being asked to open your heart, not your mouth. There is a difference. When you open your mouth too quickly, you can create defensive walls. When you open your heart, you create space for truth to enter without chaos. This is also the moment where your response matters deeply. If this message is speaking directly to your spirit, engage with it. Like this video as a sign that you are aligned with this revelation. Share it with someone who has been sensing something unusual in their own family. Comment what you have been feeling, because when you speak your awareness, you strengthen it. Subscribe to this channel and join this growing spiritual family so you remain connected to messages that protect and prepare you. When you actively support this space, you are declaring that you choose light over silence. Something powerful is building. You may wonder why the urgency about time. Because timing in the spiritual realm is precise. 11:22 p.m. represents a closing alignment. When certain windows close, they do not slam loudly. They simply shift energy. If you ignore this moment, the opportunity to receive clarity gently may pass, and truth may arrive later in a more disruptive way. Heaven prefers revelation with peace. You might also feel a pull toward your front door today. That is not imagination. Doors symbolize transitions. The guarding of your door represents the guarding of your next season. What leaves your house in the coming days will not return. What enters will be filtered. The family's secret being unearthed is connected to identity and inheritance. Not just material inheritance, but emotional inheritance. Beliefs that were never questioned. Stories that were edited. Narratives that were incomplete. You are not being exposed to hurt you. You are being trusted to handle truth. And here is something important. When truth begins to surface, distractions increase. You may suddenly feel tempted to ignore this message, scroll away, or dismiss the stirring in your heart. That resistance is a sign you are near something significant. Hold on, because what unfolds next will connect pieces you did not even realize were missing. Remain calm. Remain observant. Remain spiritually grounded. Archangel Michael's presence at your front door is a declaration that your home is under divine supervision. No chaos will be permitted beyond what is necessary for correction. No harm will override heaven's assignment. The tears you cried were not unseen. The protection around you is not imaginary. And the secret rising now is not random. It is timed, and you are ready for it. Chosen one, there is a sacred tension building in the atmosphere around you, and you can feel it even if you cannot explain it. The night of February 22nd was not just about tears. It was about authorization. At 3:00 a.m., when your pillow absorbed your silent cry, heaven did more than observe. A decree was written. A spiritual file connected to your family line was opened. And from that moment, the process of unearthing what was hidden officially began. You must understand something carefully. Secrets do not stay buried forever. They settle into the foundation of a household and begin influencing everything built on top of them. Relationships form around them. Decisions are shaped by them. Even identities can be distorted because of them. And when God decides it is time for exposure, it is not to shame you. It is to realign you. Archangel Michael's assignment at your front door is a confirmation that what is coming to light has weight. He does not stand guard for small matters. He stands when generational patterns are being confronted. He stands when a family cycle is reaching its breaking point. He stands when a chosen individual is about to step into awareness that will change the direction of an entire bloodline. That chosen individual is you. There has been something in your family history that never sat right with your spirit. Perhaps it was a story that felt incomplete. Perhaps it was a silence whenever a certain topic surfaced. Perhaps it was a tension between relatives that never had a clear explanation. You sensed that there was more beneath the surface, but you did not have proof. Now the surface is cracking. This exposure is happening in layers. It may begin with a small piece of information, a casual remark, a document rediscovered, a conversation overheard, or even a sudden memory that returns with unusual clarity. Do not dismiss these as coincidences. They are fragments of a larger unveiling. At the same time, you may feel emotional waves rising unexpectedly. Sadness without clear cause, restlessness in your chest, a need for answers. These are signs that your spirit is preparing to receive truth. When something long hidden begins to rise, it first creates internal movement before external confirmation appears. Stay steady. Archangel Michael's presence ensures that whatever is revealed will not crush you. His guarding at your front door is symbolic of filtered access. No destructive force will be allowed to enter your space during this transition. Only what serves your growth will be permitted. Here is the critical moment. Before 11:22 p.m., your posture matters. This is not about rushing to confront anyone. This is about aligning your heart with readiness. When truth surfaces, it can tempt you to react with anger or betrayal. But you are being called to respond with wisdom. If you react from wounded emotion, the cycle may repeat. If you respond from awareness, the cycle breaks. You are not just uncovering a family secret. You are interrupting a generational echo. And when generational echoes are interrupted, resistance often surfaces. Someone may try to downplay the truth. Someone may insist that it does not matter anymore. But if it is rising now, it matters. Not for revenge, not for accusation, but for closure and correction. There is a reason this message carries urgency. When divine silence becomes permanent, it does not mean God abandons you. It means the window for gentle revelation closes, and the next lesson arrives through louder circumstances. Heaven prefers whisper before thunder. This is your whisper. If this message is resonating deeply within you, if you feel that stirring that says, "This is about my life," then respond spiritually. Type "I receive the truth" with peace in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 4422 has just been released over your household. As you declare it, you align yourself with protection and clarity. And now hear this carefully. As this truth rises, and as Archangel Michael continues guarding your door, you are also being invited to take part in something larger than your own story. The exposure happening in your family is not isolated. There are others crying at 3:00 a.m., feeling confused, sensing shifts they cannot explain. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal seed in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are sowing light into homes that are still in darkness. God says to you personally, "As you bring light into my house, I will bring clarity into yours." This is your moment of obedience. Let your giving become a prophetic act that declares you stand with truth. Every seed you release becomes oil that keeps this message flowing to souls who need it tonight. And as you sow into this work, may open doors replace closed ones in your own life. Act now. Activate your support and let heaven record your obedience. The tension you feel is not chaos. It is transition. The tears you cried were not wasted. They were the beginning of exposure. And the warrior at your door has not moved. Faithful heart, something is shifting beneath the surface of your normal routine, and today you will begin to notice it more clearly. Since that early hour of 3:00 a.m. on February 22nd, when God recorded the tears that fell onto your pillow, a process has been unfolding quietly but powerfully. What began as emotion is now becoming revelation. What felt like heaviness is transforming into understanding. And what was hidden is steadily losing its ability to remain buried. You may sense that the atmosphere inside your home feels different. Not necessarily negative but charged. As if something unseen is being rearranged. This is not your imagination. When truth prepares to surface, energy shifts. Silence becomes heavier, Words carry more weight. Even ordinary conversations can feel layered with meaning. Archangel Michael remains stationed at your front door, not as a decoration of comfort but as a guardian of transition. His assignment is active because the unearthing of a family secret is not a small matter. When a hidden truth begins to rise, it tests loyalty, identity, and long-held narratives. Somewhere within your family story, there is a missing piece. It may relate to lineage, decisions made before you were born, promises broken, or sacrifices never acknowledged. It may involve something that was covered to protect the family image. But protection through concealment always carries a cost, and that cost often shows up in the next generation as confusion, insecurity, or repeated struggle. You have felt patterns in your life that did not make sense. Perhaps similar relational disappointments. Perhaps financial instability that mirrors someone else's history. Perhaps emotional reactions that feel older than your own experiences. These are not random traits. They are echoes. And echoes cannot be silenced until the original sound is acknowledged. The tears you cried were a sign that your spirit is strong enough to carry this awareness. You were not breaking down. You were breaking open. God does not allow exposure without preparation. He allowed you to feel the weight first so that when clarity arrives, you will not collapse under it. Now watch carefully over the next hours. Information may surface unexpectedly. Someone may call you. A relative may bring up a topic they have avoided for years. You may stumble across something that seems minor at first but refuses to leave your mind. These are not accidents. At the same time, you may feel resistance. A part of you might want to ignore it. Another part may fear that knowing the truth will complicate relationships. The tension is natural, but avoidance does not preserve peace. It preserves confusion. Archangel Michael's presence means that what comes to light will be contained within divine boundaries. It will not spiral beyond what is necessary. You are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into correction. There is something else you must understand. When family secrets are unearthed, they often reveal both pain and strength. You may discover sacrifices you never knew about. You may uncover burdens someone carried silently. You may even see why certain behaviors develop. This revelation is not about blame. It is about perspective. Perspective brings freedom. Before 11:22 p.m., your task is not confrontation. It is alignment. Speak quietly to God. Ask for clarity without bitterness. Ask for truth without resentment. Ask for wisdom before reaction. The way you receive this revelation will determine how it shapes your future. You are standing at a threshold moment. The guarding at your front door symbolizes that your next chapter is protected. But protection does not remove responsibility. You must choose maturity over impulse. You must choose understanding over accusation. If someone in your family becomes defensive in the coming days, do not match their intensity. Remain steady. The calm person in a tense moment holds power. The aware person in a confused environment carries authority. You are being trusted with awareness. The silence that once surrounded this secret is thinning. And when silence thins, truth breathes. It may feel uncomfortable at first, like opening a window in a room that has been closed for years. Dust moves. Air shifts. But eventually, freshness enters. That freshness is coming to your household. You not fear what you are about to learn. Fear thrives in darkness, but understanding thrives in light. You are not meant to carry inherited confusion into your future. You are meant to end it. Archangel Michael remains vigilant. Nothing will enter your space that heaven has not filtered. Nothing will leave your life that is necessary for your destiny. You cried at 3:00 a.m. because your spirit sensed change. Now change is responding. And the story that once controlled your family silently is about to lose its grip. Brave soul, the moment you have been approaching is closer than you realize, and the atmosphere around your life is tightening with purpose. Since February 22nd at 3:00 a.m., when your tears were counted and recorded, the process of revelation has not slowed down. It has intensified. What felt like a distant possibility is now becoming a present reality. The family secret that has lingered like a shadow over your bloodline is losing its hiding place. You may notice that memories are surfacing unexpectedly. Scenes from childhood, certain conversation, the way someone reacted to a specific topic. Things you once dismissed as small are now appearing significant. This is how truth begins to assemble itself. It rarely arrives as a loud announcement. It gathers quietly until the full picture becomes undeniable. There is something about your role in this that you must understand. You are not just a bystander in this exposure. You are the stabilizer. That is why Archangel Michael has been stationed at your front door since dawn. You carry the emotional balance necessary for this revelation to unfold without destruction. When a family secret begins to rise, it tests the emotional maturity of everyone involved. Some will deny. Some will deflect. Some may attempt to write the narrative even as it is being exposed. But your responsibility is not to control their reactions. Your responsibility is to remain anchored. Anchored in calm. Anchored in clarity. Anchored in divine protection. There may also be a subtle fear whispering inside you, asking, what if the truth changes everything? But listen carefully. Everything that can be shaken by truth was never stable to begin with. Truth does not destroy solid foundations. It only reveals weak ones. You were not awakened at 3:00 a.m. for nothing. That hour represented spiritual sensitivity. It was a moment when heaven could reach you without distraction. While others slept in ignorance, your spirit was alert. That alertness is why you are now prepared to handle what is coming. As the day progresses and the clock moves closer to 11:22 p.m., you may feel increasing pressure, a sense of urgency, a pull to reflect. That time marker is symbolic of alignment and decision. You are deciding whether you will step into clarity or retreat into comfort. Comfort often protects dysfunction. Clarity dismantles it. The secret being unearthed may relate to a past decision that altered the direction of your family. It may involve withheld information about identity, relationships, finances, or even an event that was never fully explained. Whatever it is, it has shaped more than you realized. But here is the deeper truth. Exposure is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of healing. When hidden things are brought to light, generational weight begins to lift. Patterns that seemed impossible to break suddenly weaken. Emotional reactions that once felt uncontrollable begin to make sense. And with understanding comes power. Do not allow fear to dictate your response. Fear wants silence to remain permanent. Fear wants you to ignore the stirring. But you are not called to fear. You are called to awareness. Archangel Michael's guarding presence is a reminder that you are not facing this alone. Protection is not passive. It is active. It surrounds you in conversations. It shields you from unnecessary conflict. It ensures that whatever truth surfaces will not exceed your capacity to process it. You may soon witness a moment where someone close to you almost reveals something significant. Pay attention to body language. Pay attention to tone shifts. Pay attention to hesitation. Truth often leaks before it fully emerges. Remain patient. The strength you show now will set the tone for what follows. If you approach this with aggression, you may create division. If you approach this with wisdom, you may create restoration. You are being given an opportunity to reset the narrative of your family line. Few people are chosen for such moments because not everyone can carry the emotional weight without collapsing under it. But you have been prepared through experiences you once questioned. Every hardship you endured was building resilience. Every disappointment was teaching discernment. Every tear was strengthening your spirit. Now you stand at the edge of revelation. The silence that once protected a secret is thinning. The walls built around it are weakening. And the guardian at your door remains alert, ensuring that nothing harmful crosses into your space during the shift. The coming hours will matter. Not because of panic, but because of positioning. You are being positioned to respond with grace where others may respond with fear. The tears at 3:00 a.m. were the beginning. The guarding at dawn with the confirmation. The unearthing now is the transformation. And you are ready for what is about to be revealed. Steadfast one, the hour you are walking through right now carries more weight than you can see with your natural eyes. Ever since February 22nd at 3:00 a.m., when God noted the tears on your pillow, a spiritual clock began ticking. Not a clock of fear, but a clock of fulfillment. The unearthing of a specific family secret is not random timing. It is synchronized with your maturity, your strength, and your readiness to break what others tolerated. You may feel an unusual stillness today, as if something is waiting. Conversations may feel suspended. There might be moments where you sense that someone wants to say more but holds back. This tension is not accidental. It is the pressure that builds right before truth surfaces. Archangel Michael remains assigned to guard your front door because exposure often attracts emotional turbulence. When a long-buried reality begins to rise, it can stir defensiveness, guilt, or even anger in those who helped keep it hidden. But that turbulence will not be allowed to overwhelm your household. Protection has already been positioned. There is something you must guard carefully right now: your reaction. When the first clear piece of this secret becomes undeniable, you may feel shock. You may feel betrayal. You may even feel relief. Emotions can come in waves, and that is natural. But you are being called to respond, not react. Reaction is impulsive. Response is powerful. The tears you cried at 3:00 a.m. were released before revelation. That allowed the emotional overflow before the informational overflow. That is mercy. If the truth had arrived without preparation, it could have destabilized you. But now you are steady. You might be asking yourself, why me? Why am I the one who has to face this? Because you are the one strong enough to end it. Patterns persist until someone refuses to carry them further. Silence survives until someone chooses awareness over comfort. And awareness is now your portion. As the day moves forward and approaches 11:22 p.m., there is an internal decision forming within you. Will you lean into clarity or retreat into avoidance? Avoidance may feel easier in the moment, but it extends the lifespan of dysfunction. Clarity may feel uncomfortable, but it shortens the lifespan of confusion. This is where your spiritual discipline matters. Take a quiet moment. Breathe deeply. Acknowledge the protection around you. Recognize that Archangel Michael's assignment is not symbolic language. It represents divine authority standing between your home and chaos. You are not walking into destruction. You are walking into restructuring. There may also be a temptation to confront someone immediately, to demand answers, to force confession. Resist that urge. Timing matters. Let truth unfold at its appointed pace. When you rush revelation, you risk fracturing relationships unnecessarily. When you allow divine timing, you create space for honesty to surface without pressure. You are being trusted with sacred information. And as you continue listening, let this message not remain passive in your life. If you feel the weight of what is being spoken, engage with it. Like this video as a declaration that you stand on the side of truth. Share it with someone who had been sensing similar shifts in their own household. Comment what you are discerning, because your words may strengthen someone else who feels alone in their awakening. Subscribe and become part of this community that values spiritual clarity over silence. Join the membership if you feel led, because staying connected to messages like this builds spiritual awareness over time. Do not scroll away from this moment too quickly. What unfolds next will connect deeper layers of this revelation, and you will want to understand the full picture before making any decisions. There is also something happening within your inner world. You may notice heightened intuition, a sense of knowing before evidence appears. That is not paranoia. That is discernment sharpening. When secrets weaken, sensitivity strengthens. Be mindful of your tone in the coming conversations. Calm authority disarms defensiveness. Gentle questions open doors that accusations would slam shut. You do not need to shout to stand strong. Strength can be quiet and unwavering. The guarding at your front door is a sign that your home will not be overrun by chaos. The exposure will be contained within divine boundaries. You will not lose what is meant to stay. You will not keep what is meant to go. The secret being unearthed may change how you see the past, but it will also change how you shape the future. You are not uncovering this to dwell on it. You are uncovering it to move beyond it. The silence that once protected hidden truth is thinning rapidly. The protection around you remains firm, and the next wave of clarity is closer than you think. Awakened one, you are now standing at the edge of a moment that will divide your life into before and after. The events that began on February 22nd at 3:00 a.m. were not isolated to one emotional night. They were the ignition point of a divine unraveling. The tears on your pillow were the signal. Heaven responded not with noise but with positioning. Archangel Michael at your front door was not placed there to create fear, but to secure transition. And transition is now fully in motion. You may already feel that something has shifted inside you. The way you think about your family, the way you interpret certain memories, even the way you look at your home may feel slightly different. Awareness changes perception. Once you sense that something has been hidden, you cannot return to complete innocence about it. But this is not a loss. It is growth. The family secret being unearthed is not simply about facts. It is about identity. It is about understanding the forces that shaped your environment long before you had a voice in it. When you uncover the root of certain patterns, you begin to see that some of your struggles were never personal failures. They were inherited environments. This realization is powerful. You may begin to connect dots that once seemed unrelated. Why certain topics were avoided. Why certain relationships were tense. Why certain reactions seemed disproportionate. Hidden truth often creates emotional distortions that ripple across generations. Now those ripples are being traced back to their source. Archangel Michael remains stationed at your door because when truth approaches the surface, it often tries to bring conflict with it. Not physical conflict, but emotional galleon. Old arguments may resurface. Past grievances may attempt to attach themselves to this revelation. But you are not required to absorb every emotion that surfaces around you. You are required to remain grounded. There is something important you must guard: your interpretation. When a secret begins to emerge, the mind can exaggerate possibilities. It can imagine worst-case scenarios. It can replay past events with a new lens and create unnecessary conclusions. Do not allow imagination to outrun evidence. Stay steady. Let truth reveal itself fully before forming judgments. You may sense that someone close to you is carrying a burden. Perhaps you notice guilt in their eyes. Perhaps you sense hesitation in their speech. This is not the time for accusation. This is the time for awareness. When people carry secrets for years, they often carry fear alongside them. Fear of losing respect. Fear of losing connection. Your calm presence may become the safest space for honesty to finally emerge. Remember, exposure does not automatically mean destruction. Sometimes it means relief. The one who has been holding the secret may be exhausted from the weight of it. Your maturity can determine whether this revelation becomes a fracture or a bridge. As 11:22 p.m. approaches, there's a spiritual alignment happening. The number itself symbolizes transition and foundation. It is as if heaven is asking, what foundation will you choose moving forward? One built on silence or one rebuilt on truth? You are being invited to choose the latter. There may be a moment soon when clarity arrives suddenly. A statement spoken plainly. A truth admitted without disguise. Or a discovery that confirms what you have sensed. When that moment comes, breathe before you respond. Let your first reaction pass through wisdom. You are not here to shame anyone. You are here to shift a pattern. Shifting patterns requires courage, but also restraint. Not every truth needs to be announced publicly. Some truths need to be handled gently within the walls of your home. Archangel Michael's guarding presence ensures that whatever unfolds will remain contained within divine boundaries. Notice also how your own inner strength has increased since that night. The tears that once felt like vulnerability now feel like preparation. You are not as shaken as you might have been months ago. You are thinking more clearly. You are observing more carefully. That is growth. The secret being unearthed may explain much about your family's emotional history. It may reveal sacrifices, mistakes, or decisions made under pressure. But it will also give you the power to rewrite the future. You are not bound to repeat what you now understand. The silence that once seemed permanent is cracking. And as it cracks, light is entering spaces that were closed for years. Archangel Michael has not moved from his position. Protection remains active. Peace remains available. Wisdom remains accessible. A night of tears with a beginning. A guarding at dawn with the assurance. The unraveling now is the awakening. And what comes next will confirm that this was never random. Courageous heart. The veil is thinner now than it has ever been. And what was once hidden behind silence is beginning to show its outline clearly. Since that sacred moment on February 22nd at 3:00 a.m., when God noted every tear that touched your pillow, you have been walking through a divine setup. Not a trap, not a punishment, but a setup for truth. Archangel Michael has remained assigned at your front door because what is unfolding carries generational weight. And when generational weight shifts, heaven secures the perimeter. You may have already sensed the change in tone within your home. The air feels different. Conversations carry undercurrents. Even silence feels louder than usual. This is what happens when truth approaches the surface and disrupts comfort before it establishes clarity. The specific family secret being unearthed is not random information. It is a missing key. Without it, certain doors in your understanding have remained locked. With it, pieces of your life that never made sense will begin to align. Perhaps you have wondered why certain struggles seem to follow your family, why similar disappointments appeared in different generations, why certain emotional reactions felt inherited rather than learned. The root of these patterns had been concealed beneath layers of silence. But silence cannot hold forever when God decides it is time for exposure. And this is that time. You may feel a mixture of anticipation and anxiety. That is natural. Revelation carries intensity. But remember, Archangel Michael's presence at your door means this unveiling is protected. No harm will override heaven's authority in your household. The purpose is restoration, not ruin. As 11:22 p.m. approaches, the urgency you feel is not about fear of loss. It is about alignment. The window for gentle truth is open. When truth is received willingly, it heals. When it is resisted repeatedly, it returns louder later. You are being invited to receive it now with grace. There may be a moment very soon when everything connects. A statement, a document, a confession, or a memory will align in a way that removes doubt. When that moment comes, do not let anger take the lead. Let understanding speak first. Ask questions calmly. Listen fully. What you learn may be painful, but it will also be freeing. Freedom sometimes feels uncomfortable at first because it removes illusions. The tears you cried were the beginning of emotional cleansing. Now clarity is following. And clarity may reveal not only what was hidden from you, but why it was hidden. You may discover that fear motivated decisions that shape your family's path. You may see that shame kept voices quiet. Understanding the motivation does not excuse the silence, but it explains it. You are being positioned as the one who responds differently. The guardian at your door is not only protecting your home from chaos, he is protecting your response from becoming destructive. Remain steady. Speak thoughtfully. Remember that truth handled with wisdom becomes a bridge instead of a blade. If this message is piercing your spirit right now, if you feel that this is more than coincidence, then respond in faith. Type "I choose truth over silence" in the comments if you receive this word. Lesson code 8811 is now activated over your household. As you declare it, you align yourself with courage and protection. Now hear this clearly. As this secret rises and your home moves into a new season of awareness, there are countless others who are still crying at 3:00 a.m. without understanding why. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or so through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a channel. You are lighting a lamp in someone else's dark hour. The Lord declares to you, as you pour oil into my work, I will pour peace into your house. This is your moment to act prophetically. Let your giving become a seed that breaks silence in other families. Every offering becomes a river that carries this message to souls on the edge of despair. And as you step forward in obedience, may unexpected favor guard your own doorway. Move now. Activate your support and let heaven witness your response. The exposure is no longer distant. It is near. The protection is still firm. And the truth that is surfacing will not destroy you. It will redefine you. Watchful one, the atmosphere around you is no longer just shifting quietly. It is settling you into revelation. What began as tears on February 22nd at 3:00 a.m. has now matured into clarity pressing at the door of your awareness. You may feel it strongly now, a sense that something is about to be said. Something is about to be confirmed. The weight you have carried without explanation is preparing to lift. Archangel Michael remains stationed at your front door because this is the phase where truth meets reaction. Exposure is one thing. Response is another. The protection around your home is not only about shielding you from external harm. It is about stabilizing the emotional environment inside your walls. You may have already received a partial piece of the secret, a hint, a crack in the story that once seemed solid. And even if you do not yet have the full picture, you feel the shift. It is as if a curtain has been pulled back just enough to reveal that there is more behind it. Do not rush to tear it down completely. Let it open in its proper time. There is wisdom in allowing truth to unfold gradually. When revelations come too quickly, they can overwhelm. When they come step by step, they strengthen discernment. You are being given this information in layers because your role is not to explode the situation, but to transform it. You may notice that your emotions are calmer than you expected. That is not indifference. That is preparation. The tears you shed were the emotional release required before the mental understanding arrived. And now you are thinking clearly where once you felt only heaviness. But clarity is a gift. As the specific family secret continues to rise, you may see how it influenced decisions that shaped your childhood, your relationships, or even your view of yourself. You may realize that certain insecurities were planted in soil you did not create. This awareness is not meant to create blame. It is meant to create liberation. When you understand the root, you stop attacking the leaves. There may also be resistance from others. Not aggressive resistance, but subtle denial. Minimization. Attempts to redirect the conversation. This is common when long-held silence begins to fracture. People cling to what feels familiar, even if it is dysfunctional. But you are no longer operating from familiarity. You are operating from awareness. Archangel Michael's guarding presence is still active because the most delicate moments are ahead. The first full acknowledgement of truth can either heal or divide depending on how it is handled. Choose your words carefully. Tone carries power. Silence, when intentional and calm, can also carry authority. There may be a conversation approaching that feels significant. You might sense it before it happens. Prepare yourself internally. Decide now that you will listen more than you speak. Decide now that you will respond with steadiness even if others speak from emotion. The unnerving of this secret is not just about information. It is about breaking a cycle. Cycles continue when reactions mirror the past. Cycles end when someone responds differently. That someone is you. As 11:22 p.m. draws closer, the symbolic alignment becomes stronger. This is not about superstition. It is about spiritual timing. A window for peaceful revelation is open. If embraced, it will bring relief. If rejected, it may return later with more intensity. You have been positioned to embrace it now. Notice how even your perspective toward your family is shifting. You may feel compassion where once there was confusion. You may see humanity where once there was only frustration. This is maturity. And maturity is what allows generational healing to occur. The secret that is being unearthed may change the way you tell your family story moving forward. But it will also give you the power to rewrite its ending. You are not bound to repeat what you now understand. The guardian at your door stands firm. Protection has not weakened. Peace is still available. Wisdom is still within reach. You are not walking into chaos. You are stepping into clarity. The tears at 3:00 a.m. were heaven's signal that you were ready. The guarding at dawn was confirmation that you would be protected. The exposure now is proof that the time for silence has expired. Remain steady in the hours ahead. What is revealed will not break you. It will free you. Resolved one. You are now in the most decisive stretch of this unfolding, and the atmosphere is charged with completion. Since February 22nd at 3:00 a.m., when God marked your tears as sacred evidence, everything has been moving toward this moment. The secret that once lived quietly beneath your family's surface is no longer comfortable in hiding. It is pressing forward, and you can feel that the conversation the discovery, where the confirmation is near. Archangel Michael remains positioned at your front door because this stage is delicate. When truth stands at the threshold, emotions can rise unpredictably. Some may feel exposed. Some may feel regret. Some may even attempt to protect themselves through denial. But the guarding presence over your home ensures that the unveiling will not escalate beyond what heaven allows. You may notice that your heart feels steadier now than it did at the beginning of this message. The fear that once lingered has softened into readiness. That is growth. The tears at 3:00 a.m. were the breaking point of old confusion. Now clarity is becoming your foundation. There is something critical about this hour. You must not allow exhaustion to make your decision for you. When emotional situations stretch over time, the temptation is to retreat simply to regain comfort. But retreating now could delay the freedom that is within reach. You are closer than you think. The specific family secret being unearthed may finally be spoken in plain language. Or you may uncover enough evidence that silence is no longer sustainable. When that happens, resist the urge to react impulsively. Remember that your role is to shift the pattern, not repeat it. Patterns repeat when pain speaks louder than wisdom. You are being invited to let wisdom lead. As 11:22 p.m. approaches, reflect quietly. Ask yourself what kind of future you want to build from this moment forward. One that pretends nothing happened, or one that acknowledges truth and moves forward stronger. Your answer to that question will shape your household for years to come. There is also something practical you must do now. Engage with this message actively. Like this video if you sense that this revelation is divinely timed in your life. Share it with someone who may also be navigating hidden truths within their own family. Comment what you are learning, because your insight could confirm what another soul is feeling but afraid to admit. Subscribe and remain connected to this channel so you continue receiving guidance that strengthens you in moments like this. Join the membership if you are ready to go deeper in spiritual awareness, because sustained clarity requires continued alignment. And before you move on too quickly, pause here mentally. What comes next in your life depends on how fully you absorb what is being revealed now. You will want to carry this understanding carefully into the conversations ahead. The guardian at your door is not only blocking chaos, he is guarding your peace. Even if emotions rise around you, your internal stability does not have to crumble. You are allowed to remain calm. You are allowed to take time before responding. You are allowed to process without performing. The secret that is being unearthed may explain years of confusion. It may answer questions you stopped asking. It may validate feelings you once dismissed. That validation is not meant to fuel resentment. It is meant to confirm your intuition. You were never imagining the tension. You were discerning it. Now discernment is turning into confirmation. There may be a moment tonight when everything becomes unmistakably clear, and truth spoken plainly. A realization that lands heavily but honestly. When that moment arrives, breathe deeply. Thank God for clarity, and choose to move forward with maturity. Silence had its season. That season is ending. Clarity has arrived at your doorstep. Archangel Michael remains at his post, ensuring that this transition is covered. The tears were recorded. The protection was assigned. The secret is surfacing, and you are standing in the doorway of a new foundation. Steady soul, you are now walking through the final stretch before full illumination, and what once felt uncertain is beginning to crystallize into undeniable truth. Since February 22nd at 3:00 a.m., when God noted the tears on your pillow, every step has been leading to this threshold. The emotional release, the guarded doorway, the subtle shifts in conversation, the tightening atmosphere inside your home. None of it was random. It was orchestration. Now the orchestration is reaching its crescendo. The specific family secret that has been stirring beneath the surface is no longer content to remain partial. You may already have enough pieces to see the outline clearly. Even if every detail has not yet been spoken aloud, your spirit knows. And when your spirit knows, denial becomes heavier than truth. Archangel Michael remains assigned to guard your front door because this is the moment when reactions matter most. Exposure can either open a path toward restoration or create fractures that linger for years. The difference lies in posture. You have been prepared for this. Think back to how overwhelmed you felt at the beginning of this journey. The tears at 3:00 a.m. carried confusion and weight. Now there is a strange steadiness inside you. That steadiness is not indifference. It is strength built through awareness. God allowed you to process internally before confronting externally. There may be a conversation imminent that feels unavoidable. Perhaps someone has hinted at needing to talk. Perhaps you feel the conversation forming in your own mind. When it happens, remember that clarity delivered with calm authority carries more impact than emotional intensity. You are not seeking revenge. You are seeking truth. And truth, when handled properly, heals deeper than silence ever could. The secret being unearthed may confirm suspicions you held quietly for years. It may validate feelings that others dismissed. It may reveal motivations behind decisions that once felt cruel or confusing. Understanding the why does not erase the consequences, but it does provide context. Context brings peace. You may notice something else now. Your fear of the unknown has diminished. In the beginning, uncertainty felt threatening. Now certainty feels empowering. This is the transformation that began the moment your tears were recorded. There's a spiritual principle unfolding here. When hidden things are exposed under divine timing, they lose their destructive power. Secrets thrive in darkness because imagination fills the gaps. Once truth is spoken plainly, imagination loses control. That is why this revelation will not destroy you. It will stabilize you. Archangel Michael's presence at your front door symbolizes more than protection from conflict. It symbolizes authority over transition. You are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into clarity under supervision. Nothing that unfolds will exceed what you are capable of handling. As 11:22 p.m. approaches, the sense of alignment intensifies. This time marker represents closure and foundation. Closure of silence. Foundation of honesty. You are standing at the edge of both. If there is one thing to remember now, it is this. Your response will echo longer than the secret itself. Secrets fade once exposed. Reactions can linger. Choose wisely. Choose calm. Choose measured words. You are not required to accept wrongdoing silently, but you are called to address it with dignity. The difference matters. There may also be an unexpected sense of compassion rising within you. That compassion does not mean you approve of what was hidden. It means you understand the fear that fueled it. Compassion allows healing to begin where anger would only harden defenses. You are breaking a generational cycle not through confrontation alone, but through maturity. The tears at 3:00 a.m. were the opening chapter. The guarding at dawn was the promise of safety. The unfolding revelation has been the journey. Now the moment of full acknowledgement is near. You will not be the same after this. But that is not loss. It is elevation. You are stepping into a version of yourself that sees clearly, responds wisely, and carries peace where confusion once lived. The silence that once felt permanent has expired. Truth is standing in the open. Protection remains active, and you are ready for what comes next. Victorious one, this is the hour where everything settles into place. What began on February 22nd at 3:00 a.m. with tears falling silently onto your pillow has now reached its appointed conclusion. God did not overlook a single tear. He did not dismiss a single sigh. That night was not emotional weakness. It was prophetic initiation. And now you stand on the other side of what once felt overwhelming. The specific family secret that has been unearthed is no longer a shadow. It has form. It has clarity. It has context. Whether it came through conversation, discovery, confession, or undeniable realization, the truth has surfaced. And notice this carefully, you are still standing. Archangel Michael has remained assigned at your front door since dawn because your household required divine order during transition. His presence was not theatrical imagery. It was a declaration that no chaos would overrun this revelation. And it did not. Yes, emotions may have stirred. Yes, tension may have surfaced. But destruction did not take control. Truth entered, and you handled it with maturity. That is growth. That is strength. That is spiritual elevation. The silence that once covered your family story has been broken. And in its place, there is something far more powerful: understanding. Understanding does not erase the past. It reframes it. You now see why certain patterns repeated. You now understand why certain reactions existed. You now recognize that some burdens you carried were never truly yours. They were inherited from decisions made before you had awareness. But inheritance does not equal destiny. Because you chose clarity over comfort, the cycle weakens with you. Because you responded with steadiness instead of rage, the narrative shifts with you. Because you allowed truth to breathe instead of suffocating it again, the foundation of your household has changed. As 11:22 p.m. arrives, it does not bring divine silence. It brings divine completion. A window was open. You stepped through it. Silence did not become permanent. It became unnecessary. There is peace in your space now that was not there before. Even if conversations are still processing, even if relationships are recalibrating, something heavy is lifted. That lift is the removal of hidden weight. And look at yourself closely in this moment. The one who cried at 3:00 a.m. is not the same person standing here now. You are clear, stronger, more discerning, more anchored. Archangel Michael's assignment at your door has accomplished its purpose. Protection carried you through exposure. And now your home stands not on secrecy, but on awareness. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a cleaner chapter. The next generation connected to you will not inherit the same silence. They will inherit honesty. They will inherit courage. They will inherit the strength you displayed when truth arrived. If this message has confirmed what your spirit has walked through, declare it boldly. Type "the cycle ends with me" in the comments if you receive this final word. Blessing code 1122 is now activated over your household. As you declare it, you seal this season with authority and peace. Now hear this as the final charge flowing naturally from everything you have just experienced. The tears that were recorded, the door that was guarded, the secret that was exposed, none of it was only about you. There are thousands still lying awake at 3:00 a.m., feeling confusion they cannot name. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a channel. You are opening doors in other homes. The Lord speaks directly to your spirit. As you build my house, I will secure yours. This is not a casual donation. It is a prophetic act of alignment. Every seed becomes light entering someone else's midnight hour. And as you move in obedience now, may unexpected provision, protection, and peace surround your front door. Act immediately. Seal this moment with your support, and let heaven record your response. The tears were seen. The guardian was assigned. The secret was revealed. And you emerged stronger than the silence that once surrounded you.